Documents recently obtained by 8 News Now show congressional candidate Danny Tarkanian was accused of illegally signing up a customer for a long-distance phone service without that person's permission back in 1994. Now, that apparently prompted the Federal Communications Commission to levy a $40,000 fine against the company that Tarkanian was working for at the time. Politics Now co-host Steve Sebelius has the story. Steve?
Yeah, Brian and Denise, these allegations against Tarkanian surfaced in a lawsuit he filed himself back in 1996. Tarkanian claimed in his lawsuit he was owed money by Excel Communications. That was a multi-level marketing company that hired independent agents to sell long-distance phone service in a deregulated market. Tarkanian joined the company in 1994, but was dismissed at some point thereafter. He sued, saying the company had failed to make good on what it owed him, not only for selling phone service, but also for recruiting other independent agents. In its reply, Excel demanded arbitration and accused Tarkanian of improper conduct. According to the document, Excel also demands arbitration of its claims against Tarkanian that Tarkanian misled Excel with respect to a customer's desire to obtain services from Excel, such that Excel switched that customer who was enrolled in another company's long-distance telecommunications services without that customer's authorization, a practice in the industry known as slamming. That resulted in, among other things, the Federal Communications Commission fining Excel $40,000 as a direct result of Tarkanian's action. Indeed, FCC records show that Excel in 1995 was fined a total of $80,000 after two customers complained about being switched without their permission. They maintained that their signatures on documents were forged and fake Social Security numbers were used. The company was fined $40,000 for each customer complaint. The FCC ruling says, in part, quote, Excel concedes that it is possible that the customer's signatures and Social Security numbers may have been forged by the independent marketing representatives who submitted the forms at issue, unquote. Now, Tarkanian's lawsuit against Excel was resolved in September 1996 after Tarkanian himself sought a dismissal with prejudice, which means the action could not be refiled. In a statement released to 8 News Now today, Tarkanian flatly denied the charges. The statement reads, quote, almost 3 decades ago, I was owed money by a big company where I did work as an independent contractor. After I sued them, the company made blatantly false accusations in an attempt to avoid paying me the money that I was owed. Bringing up a 23-year-old lawsuit is a desperate attempt to distract voters, unquote. Tarkanian has come under scrutiny earlier in the campaign because of a complex series of transactions in which he transferred money from a youth basketball charity he runs to a previous campaign for office and ultimately to a company he controls, where the funds were used to pay down his mortgage. Tarkanian was not charged or fined in connection with those transactions and said they were legitimate transactions made to repay money he'd previously loaned to his business entities. Now, Tarkanian won the 3rd District congressional primary 2 years ago, but lost the general election in a very close race to Congresswoman Jackie Rosen. This year, he'll face Democrat Susie Lee in November. For its part, the Lee campaign today said the allegations were deeply troubling and claimed they show Tarkanian is unfit for the congressional seat. Brian and Denise?